What if I told you you can get into real estate without having to pick up a hammer or a nail? You can get to the bag like everybody else does, supposedly, in real estate, but not have to do all the heavy lifting. You can make the money in real estate and maybe even have a quicker turnaround time from a profit standpoint without going through the hassle of dealing with contractors, permits, people running off with your money, and all the other nasty things they don't tell you when they talk about flipping property or renting out. I'm going to tell you guys how. And it's a very, very, very small percent of the population that do it. But those ones that do this trick, they definitely make money. They get to control what real estate deals they want to do. And more importantly, they make a lot of money doing it. What is that, my profiteers? Hard money lending. Before we get started though, like, subscribe, share to our channel as we continue to grow. The more information we give, the more you guys are educated. I'm a certified financial planner. I've been practicing for 17 years, but on these YouTube streets, Mario Payne or Mr. Payne for Profits himself, just giving information. But we're going to talk about how to become a hard money lender and how to get to the bag without dealing with all the headaches. And who says no to that? Now, private lending is a way for you to help individuals and help yourself as well. And people think it's very hard to be a private lender. In the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. It's actually not hard at all. A couple things we have to do to become a private lender and make money in the real estate market and be hands off. Number one, have capital. Now, when we say capital, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? When individuals flip houses, they usually fall short. They get a loan and they're almost done with the project, but they need that extra $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 to get across the finish line. They don't know what to do. They're usually strapped for cash, so they can't get another loan, and also they can't come out their pockets because they have to pay their workers. Will you become that middle person between the bank and the construction company or the person wanting to flip that house? And that's why hard money loans and private lending is so important and so easier, because you're the best of both worlds. The bank, they want you to flip that house so they can get paid, right? The construction company, they want to get paid. They want to refinance. They want to flip, or they want to rent it out and sell it to somebody, then rent it out. So being that middle person, you can say, hey, I got $5,000 to finish your job. I got $20,000 to finish your job. And guess what? You are going to get paid interest. And getting paid interest and being hands-off at the hands-off, speak Mario, and being hands-off at the same time, who says no to that? From an interest rate standpoint, you might ask, well, how much interest do I get? Well, typically, most hard money loans start at 10%. I didn't say end. I said start at 10%. We compare that to the stock market. Now, you know, as a certified financial planner, I love the stock market. But on average, the stock market does make 8 to 9% a year. So we're in a position where we're lending money starting off at 10% a year. It doesn't stop there, because most hard money loans is not for a whole year. They're typically over a 3 to 6 month time period. So we can make annualized, right, 10% and turn it all around again a second or third time in a year and do it all over again with another loan. So you could, over the course of a year, we do 3 private deals, we can make 30%. Who says no to that? Also, we get points. And points is money that you get on the front end and on the back end, typically up to 3%. So you can say, hey, whatever the value is of this hard money loan, let's say $20,000, I want 1 point on the front end, 1 point on the back end. So 1 point on $20,000, okay, $200, ain't nothing wrong with that. On the back end, $200, that's another $400 of you getting paid just because that loan got originated by you and it got closed by you and of course by the title company. So you could also make money when it was created and when it's closed, just like a bank does, because as a hard money lender or a private lender, you are basically the bank. Let's make sure we go through the entire video. I'm not only dropping information, but at the end, a special gift for you guys that's going to help you get to your financial planning and investment destination. Now, to go through the process to be a private lender to do hard money loans is 3 things that we have to do. Number 1, we have to find a good and reliable lender. Now, you're the private lender, so you're putting up the money, but we do need a company that's actually going to originate the loans. Now, these are individuals that do refis and they specialize in hard money loans because the banks typically do not do hard money loans. There's too much risk. Banks are risk adverse. They want our money. They're going to use our money and do risky investments, but the bank has the bag, so they're going to be as conservative as possible when it comes to loans. But smaller mortgage companies, those are the ones that take on the risk. And they need collateral to generate the loan. And that's where you come in with your money. Now, the collateral comes from, of course, the house that's collateralized that we'll talk about. But the actual loan portion, you are putting up the money as the investor. The loan company creates it. They structure it together. And my friends, we have a hard money loan. So you want to look at individuals in your network, individuals that you trust, maybe contractors, because most contractors have dealt with hard money loan companies before. Maybe you ask them if you want to get into the business. But that's the first thing you want to do. And also, what comes with that mortgage broker you're using is resources, right? Who's going to help you when it comes to an appraisal? They're going to help that to make sure that the house is appraised properly. So if something happens, it goes into foreclosure, you're able to sell it and get what you put in, if not then some, which we'll talk about. They also have a background when it comes to legal, so they can hook you up with the trust company or an attorney to look over the contract to make sure everything is right and you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. So make sure you find a reputable mortgage company that will help you structure those hard money loans. Step number 2, and most people will probably say this is the most important step. You got to get the legalese involved, y'all. We got to get the laws involved, not the police. Now, of course, if you got to kick somebody out, we got to call the police. Now, depending on what state you're in, it might take months, maybe even years to kick a person out your property. But that's why we're a hard money lender, pause. But that's why we're a hard money lender, because we don't got to deal with that. We're just putting up the money. We take the house as collateral. And when we get our money back, we make our money and then some. But from a legal standpoint, we need an attorney to draft up everything. They're the one that drafts up the verbiage. We talked about the percentage, right? The interest rate. They draft that up. They draft up the points. They make sure the appraisal is okay. They make sure that the house is free and clear from a legal standpoint, right? Making sure the title is okay. Making sure there's no liens. If we are a hard money lender, pause, or a private lender, we want to make sure that we are the only lien holder. Because if something happens and it goes into foreclosure, if you have another lien holder before you, he or she has first rights of refusal. Meaning that they may say, I don't care about you. I loan my money first. I'm the first lien holder. I'm going to foreclose on this, and whatever I get, I get. Now, depending on the states, you might get your money back, you might not. That's why it's good to have an attorney on hand to help you through the process. But the attorneys help. And so, yes, it's great to have that mortgage company, and it's great to use their resources. I would recommend having your own attorney, though, to make sure, like in the Bible, the left hand knows what the right hand's doing, right? And making sure that it's no size being played with that attorney that's being hired by the mortgage company sometimes and then hired by you. So I recommend get your own attorney to draft up the paperwork, make sure the appraisal, the title is free and clear, and make sure everything is squared away before you sign the dotted line and send those wire instructions. Because when those wire instructions get sent, it ain't no turning back. Ain't no way around it. Step number 3, make sure you stay on top of the person you're lending. Very important. I got knocked over the head with this because I was like, oh, it's okay. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months goes by and they don't pay you. That's a problem. Again, it happened to me. Now, they tightened up and I got my money. one thing you want to think about in the contract with the attorney, have a late payment penalty. If they are late from the monthly interest they're supposed to pay, they have a penalty because of that. Now, luckily, the person did not pay for 3 months. Not luckily, not happy about that. But they started paying again, but they had to pay a penalty because they was late. So you want to make sure you stay on top of them. If they're late, get on them. Don't be like me, right? I got other things going on. I got other cash flow. I got my investment firm. It's okay. It's not okay. Because when a person slowly but surely doesn't pay, they get comfortable. And when they get comfortable, will they pay? You got to chase them down. They're going to spend their money on something else, right? Trying to get the house up and going and not paying you. So I would strongly recommend you have a conversation with the person borrowing. You set expectations. You get their information. One thing, my first hard money loan I didn't do. The second one and ones after that I did. But you get their information. You stay in touch with them so they know you mean business. They mean business. And everything is okay from an investment standpoint. So there you have it, my profiteers. That is hard money lending or private lending 101. I told you guys my mistakes, my successes. Now, I would strongly recommend you guys get to the bag. Take those 3 steps I talked about. It'll go a long way. But you can do something else as well. But subscribe to our monthly newsletter. Monthly? No, we do it weekly. Every single week, we give you information about the market. We give you information about financial planning. I give you examples and tips that I give to my clients on a day-to-day basis. Yes, all 1,100 of them. And how we help individuals and hopefully my community, my painful profiteers, we can help you guys as well. So click the Patreon link below. As always, love is love. Hopefully this information is valid. We know it is. But you utilize it to your advantage and get to the bag. Let's make some painful profits together, y'all. Peace.
And you just wanna get paid, tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late, yeah. Pay for profits to help you seek change, and you just wanna get paid, yeah. Tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late, pay for profits to help you seek change, yeah. Cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions. Residual by the hours can get you a better living. Been check to check, you knowing it could be different, you knowing.